All right, we are now at the start of the trading day on Wall Street. The opening bell just rang seconds ago. Executives and guests of the investment firm Franklin Templeton get the honor today. Here's a live look at the markets right now. Very flat as we kick off the trading day. Wall Street is sort of reassessing and looking at the information, the data that was out yesterday, specifically as it relates to jobs. So let's bring in CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady, who's joining me here on the set. First time on this set?
Yes,
it's good to have
like
you.
The new
match
days.
The walls, like you got your green on, your money green.
Had to do this.
You had to do the money green. Okay, so there are a couple of really interesting stories that I'm tracking right now. First, gas prices. Cheap.
Yeah.
Gas is cheap.
National average below $3 for the first time since I think it's 2021. And, you think about this. We've seen this slide go down and down further.
Yeah.
And I was looking at a few analyst reports. This is expected to go even further down in 2026. Now, obviously, there are a couple of factors that could impact that. When there was the kerfuffle in Iran, you saw there was a little bit of a spike because there's concern about supply issues. But right now, it does seem like OPEC, these other countries, they're continuing to produce. I always wonder, though, where's the incentive for companies in this country to produce more, right? Because if the price keeps going down, it's good for you and me at the gas pump.
100%.
But it's not always profitable.
All right. I have two really big, beautiful business stories that I'm really interested in. The first one is the news that we reported yesterday that Costco is suing the Trump administration. This is kind of interesting to me because it sort of feels like it pushes against the narrative that the tariffs have not hurt businesses. And it also, this is kind of a first of its kind where a major American corporation is saying, I don't trust the government to pay me back when the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court inevitably rules against these tariffs. So I'm going to sue the government to make sure I get paid.
Yeah, so there's this deadline, December 15th, that's coming up. It's like less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that is sort of the tipping point that even if the Supreme Court were to rule that these tariffs, the reciprocal as well as the fentanyl tariffs, were used illegally, meaning that the president didn't have that authority, that it really should rest with Congress. Even if they rule that that's illegal, there are concerns that companies like Costco and all the others that paid wouldn't get that money back.
Right.
And so that's really where the heart of the suit is coming from. But I do think you're right. Costco, the brand is so important. They have people from all walks of life shopping there. It's an event in my household on the weekend.
Yeah.
And it is really unique to see a company of that magnitude come out against the White House because you don't really see other companies doing that without some repercussions.
Yeah. The other big story that we're tracking, and it's one that we were able to share exclusively on CBS News, is Michael Dell and this $6 billion plus investment that he's making in America's children. And I've been seeing a lot of reporting on it and a lot of think pieces about that, sort of suggesting, look, we're at such a terrible state of disrepair with education in this country that billionaires are the ones that now have to help children establish a future. How does the street feel? I mean, what is your take as somebody who covers this industry, business? What do you make of this, like, really remarkable investment that the Dells are making in America's future?
Well, first and foremost, love the interview yesterday.
Thank you.
It was a great way to start this iteration of the show.
Yes.
I think it's a little bit caught between a rock and a hard place.
Interesting.
Because other companies are going to feel pressured to do so. And the messaging from the White House has been very much, hey, do your part. We want you to do this with the Trump accounts. But then there's also this pushback from a lot of analysts saying, oh, $250, $1,000, it's not going to mean that someone can buy a house when they're 18. And so,
not a house, but I mean, what do we learn? Compounding interest,
exactly.
right?
And my take on it is something is better than nothing.
That's what I say.
This is great, but I do think there's this tension that as a company, you're kind of like, well, if I do, I'm going to get pushback, and if I don't, I'm going to get pushback.
I love that Michael Dell, to your point, essentially said, yeah, we expect more people to thereby putting every billionaire on notice.
Yeah.
I love it. Kelly O'Grady, good to have you here. Thank you very much.